Hey everybody, we're here for another review, RLG cast. I'm here with JohnnyDonuts 777 again. We're reviewing She-Hulk, the show,
Attorney at
Marvel,
law.
yeah, Attorney at Law, the new Marvel series, and I'll give you a little description here. So Jennifer Walters, she's a lawyer. She goes on a trip with the Hulk, accidentally gets his blood in her body. She becomes the She-Hulk. He trains her a little bit, and then she goes loose into the world as a green lawyer. So what did you think about this?
I enjoyed it. This is one of the better Marvel properties I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm definitely gonna agree. I think that as far as comedy writing goes, this is
Yeah,
probably some of the best that Marvel's ever done from the
yeah.
MCU. And it's like a lot of people complain, oh, there's too much comedy. No, this one is just a comedy.
That's the
Like,
whole purpose of the character. That's the character.
yeah, and it's like I feel like if this is a real complaint from you for this show, you've never read She-Hulk comics because this is She-Hulk in the
The
comics.
Dan Slott run.
Yeah, okay, the Dan Slott run, but that's what this is based on.
Yeah,
So, I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had here. So we won't go
yeah.
into spoilers. We'll save the spoilers. But I think Tatiana Maslany was really good
As
as Jennifer
human.
Walters.
Yes, absolutely.
She was good as She-Hulk.
Yeah, she
As
was.
she played
She's
both.
got some strong chops that one there.
The
For
go
for
ahead.
someone who's such like in a little tight petite little package, she packs a lot of power on screen.
Yeah,
She has a big
Canadian.
presence. Yes. Orphan Black.
Um, I think there was a lot of good additions to the show. Like as far as secondary characters worked.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go deep into spoilers, but Abomination, Tim Roth is great in the
Yes.
scenes that he's in. I really enjoyed him. The little bits of Bruce Banner that we get are also fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like the right amount of Marvel is here, as well as being something completely different. And I don't understand the hate for the show generally, other than I don't like thing about
Women
women.
bad. But the thing is, the show even pokes fun at that. That's what makes me laugh. That's what makes it even funnier to me.
Yeah, I mean, but there was just so many good things here. Jamila Jamil as
Titania.
Titania was
Yeah.
great. Ginger Gonzaga as Nikki was like
Yes.
she carried a lot of this show.
She is. She's hilarious. Don't forget Madison with two E's and a Y,
Oh,
but
and
not where you
I did
expect,
forget. I actually did forget.
not
Um,
where you think they are.
yeah, there was this. It was just a really fun
Yeah.
experience.
Like you said, it had that right amount of like big Avengers on screen characters, but dialed back a little bit and it kind of bridged the gap. Now you have that. It basically, even though it was a comedy show, it bridges the gap between TV and movies now because this is the first time really movie characters outside of was it Hawkeye and Falcon that we really like that there's a connection to the Avengers now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even though they are former Avengers, like this kind of bridged the gap a little bit better.
that's true, and I just think it does a great job introducing us to a character. It's a little bit rushed in terms of her just becoming She-Hulk
Yeah.
immediately. And I was not a fan of the final episode at all.
Okay.
But I do think as a whole, this show was definitely better than Moon Knight.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was better than Miss Marvel because as much as I liked Miss Marvel and I think the end of the show redeemed itself, the first two
Yeah.
episodes are terrible.
Yeah. Whereas this one, the
So
last episode is not the greatest.
it's not terrible, but it's
No,
just
I just said it's not the greatest.
it wasn't like
It left something to be desired.
it kind of just went way out of left field. Like we're not gonna give spoilers here, but you'll see
Yeah.
it if you get there. I don't know. Is there anything else specifically that you want to talk about?
Not really. Like, I mean, it's what is there to talk about? Like, I mean, they brought in some classic characters. This I like the redemption of Abomination in this show. They redeemed his character better than some of the other character redemptions I've seen in a Marvel
And
series
even like
before.
slight spoilers, even when you think he's about to go full abomination, he doesn't.
He swoops in and becomes the hero.
Yeah, and it's like you're like okay, but yeah, there was some great
Yeah,
stuff like that. There's some nice little reveals at the end. No spoilers.
yeah.
Review. review it. So give me a score.
I would give it a 7.4, a 7.5. The ending kind of dropped it off a little bit, but yeah, it was a good show. I loved it. I thought it was a great show.
I'm like a 7.3, 7.4. Same,
Yeah,
basically a little bit less than Werewolf by Night. I think that it was a fun time. It
yeah.
does have flaws, but at
And it
this
was
point,
only 6 episodes. It didn't do the 8 or 9 episodes, and I think that's what kind of made it a little bit better too. No, was it 8 episodes? It was 8 episodes.
it was 9 episodes.
9. Okay, okay, maybe that's what it was too. They were able to develop a little bit more because sometimes with 6 episodes it feels too rushed.
It did, and it developed well.
Yeah,
Um, at first you're not really sure where it's going, but it progressed to a good point. Okay, well let's just end. No spoilers here, guys. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, jump off, drop a like. We're going into spoiler territory.
mm-hmm.
Daredevil.
He was great.
I think it was great, and I think yes, it wasn't the same as the Netflix one, but at the same time,
It's
it was
not the
spot
same.
on. No, listen, because he was like that in the Netflix
Yeah.
version, but he just turned it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Like he's more a little bit more quippy.
yeah.
And he still had all the skill. I like that it was like it wasn't like a beginner process here because they're like
Yeah.
kind of ignoring what happened, but not.
He's an established character in
Yes,
the MCU.
exactly. Just without referencing anything that happened.
Yeah.
And I think
they even poked fun at it in that hallway scene where he's like taking all the guys and she just like smashes through the wall and just like that's how it's done.
the funny part was, and I liked how they did that. I was worried, oh no, they're gonna just do the hallway scene again so that Disney has their own version of the hallway scene.
And they flipped it.
And they flipped it because they're like, haha, like it was like basically
you're waiting for Nelson
laughing
Muntz
at the
just
people
to stand
who were
there going,
expecting that. Yeah, they were laughing at the people like me that were just expecting, oh, they're gonna do this. But the fight choreography was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Elephant.
The only thing I didn't like was they teased him early with the helmet, and then they had like 2 semi-pointless episodes in between before they finally brought him back.
But the thing I liked about this show is every episode had some kind of tie to what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But also every episode felt like it's a one-off. Don't worry about what's happening now. We're just having a good time. It was like
we're
going to
get to it. Yeah.
But it worked really well. And like I said, elephant in the room. I don't think the CGI as a whole was bad. I think her hair was terrible.
Yeah.
It looked like a giant brick of hair that just moved like as she moved, right?
It's like playing an early 2000s game.
I think a smart move, in my opinion, going into the second season or whatever we see in the future is shave her head. Like give her like not like a shaved head, but give her like the hair similar to what Captain Marvel has when she comes back. So
the short slicked.
So you don't have to deal with all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's where to me that it bothered me.
That threw my immersion off too. Yeah.
Because like she even kind of in the daylight, she really blends into what's happening. It's just you notice this block of hair doesn't blend in with the
coloring
walls.
is kind of
off. It doesn't blend in with her outfit, with her skin. It didn't blend in with anything. You know, like you could work on some stuff here.
Yeah.
I
think they might go back and patch it.
You think so?
I think they might go back and patch it.
It's a pretty Disney thing to do.
I know, but they even referenced it, right? You know, we can't do that right now. The VFX crew is working on another project.
Yeah, just don't turn. Can you turn back?
Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about that last episode.
Yeah.
I really did not like it.
No, I liked a couple things, like the whole, like, you know, how, you know, as the viewer, they back out of the show and she breaks the fourth wall, goes from panel to panel like she does in the comic books. That I liked.
I love the Disney Plus like screen where she knocked out the stuff.
That's what I was talking. That's very comic book-esque of her. That's how she travels from one place to another in the comic books. She goes through panels. She breaks through the panels.
And this small things worked. I didn't really want that big boss fight either.
No.
I liked though how Tim Roth was like,
I'm just doing it for money.
I'm just doing it for money. I don't even know what these guys are really here for because he didn't book the group knowing what they were about. He just wanted to do whatever. But then there was like a small thing right there when Bruce Banner shows up and he immediately tries to fight Abomination. All she had to do was be like, "No, he's okay," but didn't
Yeah.
even say anything and just let it happen. That and then I was like, "Okay, this is getting really stupid." And then they cut it. They did the whole process. I had
Yeah.
a fun time with her asking to talk to Kevin and like,
Yeah. Referencing
okay, but then it got a little too. It went a little bit too far.
to meta.
It got too meta. It got weird. You we already know you've established the MCU already as like 35 properties, whatever it is. And now all of a sudden now this is happening. I'm okay with
Yeah.
the fourth wall breaks and even stopping the episode and fixing what's
Yeah.
happening, but then you went like too deep to like a really weird place. And then the ending that we did get, I'll tell you right now, and if you don't agree with me, there's
No,
a fight. One thing
yeah.
that pissed me off, all of a sudden in broad daylight, now this is canon that this happened. Daredevil was just there with the cops, with everything.
Yeah.
Like what?
Where the cops are looking for. They're looking for
Yeah,
Derek.
and he's just hanging out there in the daylight, like it's cool. Like let's. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah. I kind of felt a little bit too when they gave Daredevil the walk of shame. They kind of did him a little dirty there. Why is he walking? He could have just jumped over the rooftops and left.
Even if it was the walk of shame, the fact that she was like, there's a guy in a suit walking down the street in a devil suit doing the walk of shame. It's like he wouldn't just be out like that. It's like Batman. No. Batman's not just going to be.
It would be like
out.
Batman walking without his shoes down the street after he smashed like, Harley.
At the end of the episode, it's Batman at lunchtime just hanging out with the cops and the other heroes.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what Batman does. Daredevil is Batman, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
So
same type of character.
But what I did, okay, so my favorite, and you know what's funny? We didn't even mention this in the spoiler-free part. Hold on, I just want to nail his name. It's the guy from the guy who does the suits.
Oh, yeah, I know which guy you're talking about.
Oh, Luke. His name is
Luke something.
Oh my god, Luke Jacobson.
Like Mark Jacobson, right?
Yeah,
like,
Griffin Matthews, and he's great in The Flight Attendant. Yes. He was like my favorite part of the show. He stole every scene he was in. He was so funny, and you know who we completely forgot? Wongers. Wongers is great.
Yes, with Madison. Those scenes with Madison were fantastic. Like
perfect cameos. This show nailed it and gave us little things like the demons when the demons came out and like having to stop them.
Ghost Rider's maybe cousin and Donnie Blaze.
Yeah, and it's like but that referenced the fact that a person named Johnny Blaze exists because you spoofed his name, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of really cool stuff like that.
And it planted a few seeds. Yeah.
See, this show, it feels like it was created just for seed planting.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I thought it was great.
I don't mind it. And now you can bring She-Hulk the other way around. You know what I mean? Like some of the shows were created and brought some of the MCU movie characters to the small screen. Now this can work in bringing She-Hulk eventually to join some of the Avengers.
We see now she's in California.
Mm-hmm.
And
the West Coast
Avengers, which makes sense to me because
Daredevil joins them for a short while.
Daredevil joins them.
Vision,
Hawkeye.
Yeah,
the Haley Steinfeld version of Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop. Yeah,
Kate Bishop. This is kind of going where I want this to go. In a lot of ways. And they
introduced another young Avenger.
Who was it?
Scar.
Oh, Scar, yeah. No, we forgot about that. Yeah, Scar comes right at the end with Hulk.
With a bad haircut.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
This is good because we can have the West Coast Avengers exist in this universe where the rules are kind of different and they don't necessarily have to interact with the actual Avengers. The link between them will be Hawkeye, Clint Barton, and Hulk. Will be the two that know those people, and it will be like that's our link. But we keep them in New York.
Well, they even reference the Midwest Avengers too, and the Immortal Man there.
Exactly, and there's a lot of cool stuff that happened in this show that I think a lot of people overlook. Just mad because women, and it's like okay, like let's get over it. Like there's bad things.
It's 2022. Like Come on, like I
But
think
like
we're past that now.
there are flaws in this show,
Yeah,
sure, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives by a long shot. The
yeah.
fact that
This
this
is
show is rated like a 5.1 on
does
IMDb
not
with like
deserve it. No,
30,000 votes
no.
is crazy to me. Moon Knight is so much worse than this show.
Yeah,
The Captain America First Avenger is so much worse than this show. What If is so much worse than anything Marvel has ever made.
it's not on the level of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but
It's
better than a lot of. I
it's
wouldn't even call this
it's
better
almost
than
as good
Wanda.
as WandaVision. It's close.
It's on the same. It's
Yeah,
on the same. Yeah,
WandaVision, this, and like Miss Marvel are in a similar
yeah.
zone for me. And then a Hawkeye to me was a little bit worse than those. But it doesn't like Moon Knight was just like
I was expecting more from Moon Knight, and
Moon,
same thing with Hawkeye.
Moon Knight didn't recover really. Like
Yeah,
Miss Marvel recovered from a bad first two episodes. Moon Knight's first two episodes are terrible, and then it takes longer to recover it, and until the last episode when it finally is like, okay, I really like this.
yeah.
But it took all the way till the last episode. You know what I mean?
And in the final episode, you get introduced to Scarlet Scarab, and you don't really go anywhere with her.
And that was the best part.
Yeah,
For me, like
yeah,
easily the best part was Scarlet Scarab.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. But it was fun. I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed it too. I think
There's a meme that there's a meme that's going around where there's a scene where they're all eating lunch at the picnic table, and you see Matt Murdock with his eyebrows like raised, and it says Scar's haircut is so bad it gave Matt Murdock back his
I
vision.
saw that. It's hilarious. The I don't know. It's just like
It was a fun watch. Like I mean,
the intelligentsia whole thing, that whole plot is literally describing like Reddit making fun of She-Hulk. It's like they knew that this was going to happen and were already prepared for it.
They were already prepared for it. That's smart writing, in my opinion.
It was. There's a lot of greatness here.
Yeah.
It's just like the head writer, the creator. I forget what her name is, but she was like
Gao, I think.
Yeah, I think Jennifer Gao or something like that. She was like, I didn't like the idea of a big boss fight. That was the original plan.
Jessica Gao.
Jessica. So she stopped it and went with the ending they had, and I was like,
it didn't work to me. That
just didn't work. Like I understand your point, but it just didn't work.
You need that culmination at the end of a series for that payoff. You know what I mean? This
100%.
And this didn't feel like it.
Because it was lackluster. You ended up with no boss fight, nothing. The show just ended. Everything was just okay.
You just arrest what's his name there?
Yeah,
Hulk King.
Yeah, but
females, right?
Oh man. So I mean, I'm excited to see where this goes. Do you have anything else?
I'd like to see a second season.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get it. I think this one, Hawkeye, Moon Knight.
Clearly, Loki is getting another season.
Loki, Miss Marvel, those are going to get seasons. Miss WandaVision's not.
I think the Agnes series is kind of like the pseudo sequel to
the Agnes series. Though is once again, I think like WandaVision, going to be a one-off.
Yeah,
it's going to just be one season explaining more about her because people liked her so much, and then it's just going to leave that.
Yeah, and I don't think Falcon is going to get.
No, it's definitely not because it's Captain America 3's coming.
4.
Sorry.
Yeah. And what's his name is part of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, so that's everyone has a place now. I think the shows are generally for people who don't have a place right now, or characters that are going to stay like that, like or Daredevil.
They need a little bit of a gap to bridge the gap, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a lot of good in that in certain places. So let's keep that going.
Yeah, because they showed that Loki now is in a different place than where Thor is. You know what I mean? It's not.
It's like, well, he was in a different timeline to begin with when he got into the time where variance Back to the Future. Anyways, thank you for watching.
Flux capacitor.
Tell us what you think about flux capacitors in the comments, and peace out.